I Do Damage, and welcome back to the channel. In this last Oasis video, I want to talk about and give you an overview of what you can expect from a survival sandbox MMO. They're defining themselves as a woodpunk type game. The price is $24.99 until April 2nd. The price will then go up to $29.99. I want to talk about what I think is most important and things you should know before you make a decision if you want to buy the game or not. The first thing I want to talk about is the combat. Combat in Last Oasis really reminds me of Mordau Chivalry, where your attacks and blocks are decided by the movement of your mouse. This is really nice for an introductory type combat system for new players with a very high skill ceiling for veterans, and there's a lot there to really learn and master to become a king of this combat system. Outside of just mastering the combat system, how else can you make your character strong in Last Oasis? And that's what I want to talk about, progression. Character progression has two forms. You have permanent progressions through skills you learn and recipes you learn and things that you train. And then you have your building and kind of the items that you have on you, which is kind of progression. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. As you level up, you'll earn these points to spend on four main character attributes. These are health, stamina, damage, and mobility. They do exactly what you think they would. Health is your health pool, stamina is your combat energy, and energy used when sprinting. Damage is your damage output, and the mobility is your movement speed. Permanent progression comes in your tech tree and learning recipes. You learn these different recipes and unlock different techniques with fragments. Fragments are obtained by killing monsters in the world. You can also find them by coming across walker crash sites and doing some research there. Heck, you could even kill a player and steal all their fragments if you wanted to. With that in mind, once you've used the fragments to actually learn a skill, you can't lose that. You know that forever. That skill or that recipe, whatever it is that you've learned. Throughout crafting and training all these techniques, you can make better armor and weapons, as you would expect in any survival type of game, right? So that's the next part of progression I kind of wanted to touch on, and that is through the crafting and what you're wearing. So your armor, weapons. You can even craft bigger bags for your water, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. For level 20, some of your slots are protected and cannot be looted from other players. But once you reach level 20, everything is open game. So if you die, someone could just dry loot you and take all of your stuff that you have on your body when you died. That shouldn't be a surprise, as it is a sandbox MMO with a heavy PvP emphasis. So I brought up water. Let's just talk about that real quick since we've talked about health and stamina. You also have on the bottom left corner this blue circle. That is actually your water bar. When you run out of water, you actually become dehydrated and start to lose health. So you want to make sure you always have enough water to stay hydrated so you don't die. The next part of the game that I want to talk about is building, crafting, and just kind of have a little conversation about what you can do with it all. You can craft, as I said, water bottles so that you can hold more water on your character. You can craft gadgets. There's actually a grapple hook that you can craft that you can shoot to help you get up cliffs and things like that. And there's an upgraded gadget that works a little bit quicker. You can make crafting stations. The very first one you're going to get is a bonfire, where you can use to cook cactus flesh and get water out of it to then fill that water into your water bottle. You can also craft buildings, shelters, walkers. And the walkers themselves can actually be upgraded. The walkers is something I really do want to talk about, because this was the number one thing for me that was really interesting, was the idea of having a mobile base. Basically, a walker is the wooden thing that you're driving around that you can build. You can modify the legs, you can add different parts to it, you can put things on it like different types of weapons. I've put a bonfire on mine so that I have a mobile crafting station. Lots of different things to craft and build. There's even more walkers that you can learn to craft, all the way up to a Titan walker that I don't even think I've seen yet. There's tons of options with crafting and learning these techniques and recipes, and I think that's probably going to be the bread and butter to the progression for the game. Since we're on the topic of walkers, I just want to point out that this game is full PvP from the start. There's no safe zones. It's always PvP all the time. With that in mind, if you're out cruising around in your walker and you have a lot of stuff that you have stored maybe on your walker or even on your person, if you manage to die, people can loot everything on your corpse, as we talked about. But then also you have to respawn and make it back to your walker, which can be a long walk at times, and also other players can destroy your walker and then steal everything from it as well. So it's almost like a race for time. So if you invest a ton of time into a huge walker and you lose it out in the wild and either you can't get back to it or another player destroys it, you're out of luck and you have to make a new one from scratch. Luckily, the lower tier walkers you can craft in about 10 minutes from scratch, so it's really low investment there, but it is something you should know about the game. The last thing I want to talk about with Last Oasis, and I think you should know this, is the world. So the world is broken up into, think of them as islands. They're actually called oases. That's where the game gets its name, is you find an oasis, and there's different oases throughout the world. These oases range in difficulty from easy, medium to hard. Easy being, obviously, your beginner ones, all the way up to hard, where there's trade centers and different things you can do. There's different versions of each. The version I played, there was like 2 different easy islands, 2 different medium islands, and then 1 hard. And with all their server issues they've had recently, I've noticed that they've made some more. And I think that they'll add more as the population increases. Clans can even take these oases over and then protect them. And then you can work for that clan while getting their protection. Different things like that, but in my experience, it was a pretty cool idea, and I kind of enjoyed it, to be honest, because if you're getting killed a lot, and you're maybe getting griefed where someone's just corpse camping you, when you die, you can actually decide to switch oasis and go to a different oasis and get a different start there. The last thing I want to mention about the oasis is the safe logout mechanic. Since it's an always online game, you can't get raided when you're offline if you log out safely. And to do that, you just go to the edge of the map and you can log out there, or you can AFK and not get hit, not do anything for 2 minutes and then log out. And that should be a safe logout for you. I think that covers everything you should know about Last Oasis before you make a decision if you want to buy the game or not. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post new videos every Monday and Friday. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.